Women's basketball has a lengthy tradition in Victoria's sporting history. It was originally played under six-a-side ladies' rules with limited dribbling and 3 against 3 in the offensive zones. Women's basketball remained pretty much a recreational game until the 1930s, when Bob White and others began coaching local girls' teams playing 5-man rules. Equal opportunities legislation in the U.S. in the 1950s boosted many female sports, but especially women's basketball. The first Rawlings basketball team was formed in 1966 when high school teacher Mary Coots, who is also one of Canada's top women's basketball players, recruited Howard Tooby to coach them. When the team made its Senior A debut, Mary Coots scored 51 points in the first 2 games against UBC, but the Rawlings girls still lost both matches. They ended their inaugural season with only 2 wins, but one was over the defending Canadian champions. Rawlings felt it was a commendable showing and that the next season would be much better. It was. They opened with 2 wins over UBC. Mary Coots had plenty of help from the long-range shooting of newcomers Diane Doyle and rookie recruit Trish Spooner. With Claremont High student Barb Tribe, 3 teachers, Sylvia Campbell, Marilyn Rice, Doreen Lusk, and guard Nita Moody, they looked like solid contenders. 3/4 of the way through their schedule, Rawlings were only 2 points out of first place when they won the Thunderbird Invitational Tournament at UBC. They followed that with a sweep of the Mount Pleasant Series to win the league title. It was on to the BC playoffs where a second Claremont High School player, Jeannie McCaddy, sank a last-second free throw for a 1-point victory. That gave the Rawlings girls a 3-game sweep, and Diane Doyle got to bring home the league's MVP trophy. Their next stop was Saskatoon, where Rawlings captured the 1968 Canadian Championship with wins over Peterborough and the University of Saskatchewan. It proved to be an expensive win. Organizers refused to cover the team's expenses because they'd overlooked a rule that 2 players had to be from other BC teams. Rawlings was only the second Victoria women's team to own the National Senior A title. 19 years earlier, these 7 C&C Taxi girls won it in 1949. In 1968, Coach Tooby and a couple of younger Rawlings players were recruited by the growing UVic Bikettes basketball program. That resulted in the defending Canadian champions starting their 3rd season with only 4 full-time returning players, new coach Jack Lusk, no sponsor, and no team name. After winning their first 5 games, they were dubbed the Untouchables, until a team naming contest resulted in them becoming the Maplettes. They struggled through mid-season, but thanks to the play of newcomers Arlene Walwyn, Angie Rodanovich, Irene Smith, and Diane Brozick, the Maplettes defeated UVic in the final game of their schedule, eliminating the Vikettes from the playdowns. The Victoria Maplettes dumped 2 mainland clubs to reclaim their BC title and host the Canadian final. They breezed through the 4-team double-loss nationals undefeated, winning Victoria's 2nd consecutive Canadian championship title. However, all was not lost for Howard Tooby's UVic Bikettes. They went on to rack up an undefeated record in university play and brought more glory to Victoria by winning the Western Canadian Intercollegiate Women's Basketball title in their rookie season. Both Victoria teams got off to a good start in the 1969-70 season, but it wasn't good enough to overcome a strong UBC side which won both the national title and the Western Universities Championships. In the Maplettes' 1970-71 season, Mo Turner took on the coaching while Wally Yeamans was manager. They rebuilt their squad around 5 returning players, 5 university grads, and 2 high school players. Finishing inter-city league play in first place with an 11-1 record, the Maplettes qualified to represent BC at the Canada Winter Games and packed their bags for Saskatoon. Unfortunately, they had to settle for silver medals after losing out to Ontario in the final. Returning home, they defeated the defending Canadian champion UBC Thunderettes in the league playoffs and then beat the Vikettes in a challenge game to claim the BC title. They then won the Canadian title in Hamilton with 3 straight victories, including one over the Ontario team, of which they'd lost the gold medal to at the Canada Winter Games. Angie Rodanovich, who was on 2 of the 3 Canadian Championship teams, and Mary Coote, who was on all 3, were named Tournament All-Stars. They were also named to Canada's national team for the Worlds. Winners of 3 Canadian basketball championships, the players, coaches, and managers of the 1968 to 1971 Victoria Rawlings and Maplettes girls basketball teams now take their rightful place in the Greater Victoria Sports Hall of Fame.